The religious community throughout the world pausing today to reflect on a significant time in the Christian faith. Tonight, a local Anglican church leader talks about Maundy Thursday, how it paved the way for Jesus' trek to Calvary thousands of years ago. Joan Davis-Roll reports.
This is a solemn time in the Christian community as churches steeped in tradition and in keeping with the Lenten season observe Maundy Thursday. It underscores the significance of the journey leading up to the culmination of 40 days of prayer and fasting. According to Reverend Marie Roach of the Pro-Cathedral of Christ the King, Maundy Thursday marks the beginning of the end of the special Lenten season.
On Maundy Thursday, there are two things that we actually do, two things that we remember. It's the night before Jesus was betrayed and Jesus was crucified. And on that night, he and his disciples were in the upper room and they were celebrating, the beginning of the Passover. And so they were having a meal. But Jesus did something a little different that night when he broke the bread and he blessed it. One thing that he said differently was that, "Do this in remembrance of me." And he also, when he took the cup of wine, he said also, "Do this whenever you do this in remembrance of me." And so that was the institution of the Holy Communion or the Last Supper or the Eucharist. So on Maundy Thursday in our churches, we celebrate and we remember. This is what Jesus asked us to do. This is one of our sacraments.
Reverend Roach says that Jesus also exemplified the importance of a servant's heart.
The second part of the service, what we also do is the washing of the feet. And on that night as well, Jesus, when he came into the room, usually they would have servants who would wash the feet of the persons who came in. But Jesus humbled himself. He took off his robe and he got down on his knees and he washed the feet of all of his disciples. And it just shows that he said he did not come to be served, but to serve.
The observance, she says, also emphasizes the ultimate sacrifice Jesus made.
That's the great thing about being a Christian. We serve a God who understands suffering, a God who himself went through suffering. The agony that Jesus went through on the cross, not just the physical agony of being beaten, of having the crown of thorns on his head, the scourging, where he was whipped, bits of his flesh was torn away from him. The crucifixion itself, with the nails going into his forearms and into his feet and his ankles. I mean, that physical agony, but then the spiritual agony of when he took our sins upon him. Sin separates us from God. And so Jesus took all of our sins, past, present, and future.
Joan Davis-Roll, ZNS News.